Alrighty, team. So yesterday I asked the question in the group. I posed a statement, I should say. Statement and a question. A new video today. Any topic or subject matter request. So essentially I'm asking everyone, anyone in the group, is there something that you guys would like for me to make a video about when it comes to trading Forex? Jim Storer, he posed an excellent question to the group, or to me, and he writes, "Hi Gary, would you be able to make a video about identifying trend reversals in the market? Thanks." Man, this is such a great question, because if you take part in trading the new level strategy, you know that the new level strategy is a trend reversal strategy, right? So if you're going to be successful with trading the strategy, obviously we should know how to identify when the trend is about to reverse and what to look for on the larger time frames, the weekly and the daily, so we can identify when we may get a signal, or if we're getting a signal after the trend has reversed, all right, or prior to the trend reversing. Okay. Now, one thing I want to point out, when you're looking at trend reversals on the weekly and the daily time frame, right, they're going to be different than you would look at a trend reversal on our entry time frames, or the time frames that we actually take trades on, which would either be the 4-hour or the 1-hour time frame, right? So they're going to look different. What would constitute, or the things that you would look for, or the reasons you would look for a trend reversing on the entry time frames, is different than the reason you would look for a trend reversal on the larger time frames. So when I think about this question, I thought about, in order for me to really answer the question properly, to give you guys a full understanding of the question itself, and to be able to teach you guys on my trading strategy, my trading style, I was going to break this question up into 3 parts. Okay, 3-part video. So in the first video, I'm going to go over what constitutes a trend reversal on the weekly and the daily time frame, how to identify a trend reversal. Then I'm going to go over, in the second video, I'm going to take a look at trend reversals on smaller time frames. We'll take a look at the 4-hour, the 1-hour, maybe 30 and 15-minute time frame, because like I said, what you see on the weekly and the daily time frame looks completely different on the lower time frames, which are the time frames that we actually enter the trades on. Okay, and then the third part of the video, I got that idea from Monique, right? Monique also indicated that there's different confluences that you can also look for in the market that also indicates a potential trend reversal. She posted a double candle also indicates a trend reversal, and then she also posted dojis also show trend reversals, right? So she's talking about candlestick formations, which she's spot on with that. So in the third video, we're going to look at different forms or different confluences that also would help us indicate when a trend is going to reverse, such as candlestick formation, like Monique indicated, double candlesticks, which some people would consider to be railroad tracks, or a doji. Some people would consider that, or it's commonly referred to as an indecision candle. The market doesn't know if it wants to go up or down. Thus, sometimes that's an indication of the trend about to reverse. Then you can also look at pin bars. All right. Some people consider those as exhaustion candles, as well as engulfing candles. What also would constitute as confluences is support and resistance. You have horizontal support and resistance. You have trend line support and resistance. You also have dynamic support and resistance, which is moving averages. So we're going to look at, in the third video, we're going to look at different confluences or additions or indicators, oscillators, different things like that you can also add and use in conjunction with candlestick formations to also identify trend reversals in the market on the smaller time frames. Okay, so first video, we're going to look at weekly, daily time frame. Second video, we're going to look at our smaller time frames, our trade entry time frames, and the reasons why we look for reversals on the smaller time frames. And then in the third video, we're going to look at in addition to's, right? So we're going to look at different indicators or different confluences that you can use in the market, in addition to the candlestick formations, in addition to the time frame that you're trading on, to put the whole puzzle together to really identify how to identify trend reversals. The cool thing about all of this is that you can take the same mindset on each time frame when it's all said and done, and you can take your confluences, you can take the way that you're trading the smaller time frames that we're going to show in the second video, and then you can take the idea of the bigger time frames that we're going to go over in this first video, and you can take all of that and you can apply it to each time frame, and you will have a solid understanding or idea of how to identify a trend reversal, not only the Forex market, but any market you decide to trade. So let's take a look at the weekly and daily time frame. Let's get started. So the first thing I want to tell you guys, now that we're looking at the Euro JPY, we're looking at it on a weekly time frame. So the first thing I want you guys to realize is that in order to figure out when a new trend begins on the higher time frames, you first have to be able to identify when an old trend ends. This is what causes trend reversals in the market. Now let me stress to you guys one more time. You have to keep in mind the way you recognize the start of a new trend on the larger time frames is going to be different than how you would recognize the trend on the smaller time frames or the second video that we're going to do. Okay, these are your actual trading or entry time frames. Now let me point out one last thing before we get started. Since new level in its purest form is a trend reversal strategy, taking signals off the daily time frame, I'm going to show you guys how to recognize the change, the reversal in the trend. I'm not actually showing you guys how to recognize the signal. I'm just going to show you guys how to recognize the reversal in the trend. So when you do get the signal, you can make sure you're in line with the overall market. Okay. So let me show you guys how you identify the trend reversal. So first off, looking at the weekly time frame on the Euro JPY, I'm about to show you guys how you identify a trend reversal from an uptrend to a downtrend to what looks like it's going to be a potential new uptrending market. Okay, so first thing, so one thing that you need to know is what constitutes a trend, right? So a trend is a makeup of either higher highs and higher lows for an uptrend and lower lows and lower highs for a downtrend. So here's what I mean. If you look right here, you have a higher high, then you have a higher low, because this low is higher than this low. Another higher high, meaning this high is higher than this high. Higher low, higher high. Sorry, you guys know I'm a perfectionist. Higher low, right here. Higher high, another higher low, and then another higher high. Alrighty. Keep in mind, we're on a weekly time frame. Now, first indication that price is reversing. You get a higher low, which isn't really a higher low. This low actually comes down to where the previous low was. So this is one of those confluence things. This is starting to form what they call a head and shoulders pattern, but we'll go with that in the third video. And the only reason I know that because hindsight is 2020. But once you get this lower low the low right here, actually it's a lower low, that gives you the indication that, hey, there could be a potential reversal in trend on the horizon coming up, because a lower low violates the rule of an uptrend, because this should have been a higher low. It was an uptrend, right? So what you could do, you could go in and mark off a level right here of horizontal resistance right here, because you've just formed a lower low. So the only thing that will put you back in line with an uptrend is if you can form a higher high, right? But if you don't form a higher high, then you could be potentially looking at a reversal. So what would tell you that price wants to reverse, right? If you put in a line right here of resistance and price comes right up to this line, because price always will go back and retest, for the most part, where it always been, and then you get price starting to trade down away. That right there is your trend reversal. That's your trend reversal. Price just breached this area right here, so that would be your level of support. So you expect price to do what after this trend reversal? After price goes down, you expect price to come back, test this level right here of support, which is now resistance. The reversal is on. Then you start forming your lower lows and lower highs to identify you are now in a new selling market, selling trend, right? But now when you get here, price trades higher. Price trades higher. Your level just got breached, but it doesn't. Price came right out, tested that level of resistance, broke that level. Now it becomes support. And now look what price is looking like it's trying to do. Reverse on you. That's how you identify trend reversals. Let's look at the same thing on the daily time frame. Let's get rid of all of these. Alright, so let's go to the daily time frame. We're not going to use these examples. We're going to find new examples because it works the same. It works the same. So let's go from a downtrend transition to this uptrend. Identifying trend reversals. We're not going to look at all of this. We're going to just, we're going to start around here. Right, we're going to start around here. Again, transitioning from a downtrend to an uptrend. Creating these lower highs and lower lows in the downtrend. Lower highs. This high is lower than this high. Being patient. Being patient. We're going to talk about what this area means in the third video. We're going to come back and look at what this area means. Because this area right here is talking to us. This is called a range. When this stuff starts to happen right here, this is also an indicator that the trend may reverse. This is called a range. So we're going to discuss that in the third video. But for now, let's just call it a lower low. A lower high. Did not make a lower low. Did not make a lower low. Antennas are up. Antennas are up. We may have a reversal on the horizon. May have a reversal on the horizon. The only way we can get back in line with the downtrend is if this price trades lower here, which it didn't. That's your breach level. That's your level of resistance. Price came right up, broke your breach level, retested, confirms your uptrend right there. That is the beginning spot right here. Confirms your trend reversal. That point right there. And if I just throw some type of confluence, if I just throw an oscillator on here, give me something. Let's go stochastic. Let's run with it. Right there. Throw a 50 line right on the stochastic. 50 level. If you know anything about stochastics, you know that 50 level represents strong momentum. Price came right to your 50 level. Traded right off it. Boom. Gone. That's your trend reversal. That's your trend reversal. What's funny about price, you put your support and resistance line right here. Top of this level right here. Price came right back to it. We're going to talk about these confluences to show you where price wants to go. There it is. But that's how you recognize trend reversals. So what's going on right here? Did not make a higher high. Did not make a higher high. The only way we need to see price trade higher. It didn't. Right? It didn't. So that gets our antennas up. a reversal may be on the horizon. I haven't looked back at this. I'm gonna pull the chart back. Okay, price went through. We need to see price retest this level right here. And I don't know. I haven't looked. I don't know what's coming up. But what I would like to see is price retest this level to confirm the trend reversal to the downside. Let's see what happens. It didn't retest that level. It retested this level. But still, essentially it's the same thing. Price confirmed the trend reversal to the downside. So guys, that's how you recognize trend reversals in the Forex market. This applies to any market. Any market. Alrighty. That's the first video. Let me know if you have any questions, if you have any comments about the video, if you need something explained a little bit more than happy to do so. Alright guys, have a great day. Forex King.